Hey everybody, I needed to make this little last minute video before I go to work this morning. I don't normally film in the mornings, but so I'm gonna try to keep this really short. And it's basically to kind of specify and clear up a little bit of what I've seen in the last couple visions. Well, the ones that I talked about recently in my video, which had to do with basically the earthquakes that I had in the spring, like the visions were in the spring. And then the terrorist visions that have been a little bit more recent in the past few months, and in December. So the Lord had showed me two maps, right? And I briefly spoke on it in my last vision video. And the first map, excuse my dog, he's whining. But anyways, the first map, I'm gonna put a little like segment, I guess, where I'll try to clip it in. I just got some maps off of Google, just a map of the US, and I did the little pin drops of where the Lord showed me relatively where the earthquakes might take place. Then the second map is going to be, I'll have purple dots on that one. The first one will be red dots with the earthquake. The second one will be purple dots with just what the Lord had showed me. Basically, were the terror cells and the extensity of it, all right? And the potential extensity of attacks with that association. Sorry, I'm slurring. I just woke up and I haven't even really had any caffeine yet. But I had to get on here and film this today, try to get this uploaded today. So, yeah, so what you're not going to do is you're not going to screenshot these maps and say that I said exactly here, you know, in this remote location, like there's going to be just a big attack or something like that. Look, the whole point of this is this bottom map. Specifically, I'll try to put the earthquake one on the top and the other one on the bottom. Yeah, the bottom one is with the purple dots, and it's going to be vast, all right? And specifically, that vision, whenever the Lord had initially showed me that one, more recently, that had to do with the terror cells and the potential terror attacks. And the whole point of it, me recreating this map for you, is not for you to try to dissect. It's not for you to have fear over, okay? That's big number one. All right, and it's mainly the Lord just wants me to show you how extensive this is. I tried to recreate it as best as I could, but when I tell you like probably a couple hundred pinpoints of just little dots everywhere, specifically heavy in the southern United States, and then even up into the cities, but also just like in the middle of, well, what I would say the middle of nowhere, but then again, I live in the middle of nowhere too. So just like everywhere. And I'm not telling you this to instill fear in you at all whatsoever. But the Lord had put it urgent on me that people are starting to panic about these things going on. And at the same time, their natural senses are trying to tell them that, you know, maybe that's not what's happening. Or they're thinking in their head, okay, you know, maybe a few people have mentioned a couple of cities, so maybe it's only going to be a couple of cities. And I'm just here to confirm to you that it's going to be a lot more broader spectrum than that, okay? And I mean, we need to pray, for sure. We need to pray, but I'm just trying to give you the message that he told me to give you. And that is to not count yourself out of harm's way. Honestly, like the cities at this point, just everything in general that's been going on kind of makes you a little bit nervous to have to go to town. But also, he wanted me to tell you that everything is linked. Everything is linked together, all right? So all of these acts of terrorism or just bad things going on, specifically due to man's hands, whether it's shooting, explosion, whatever the case is. I'm here to confirm to you that it is all linked together, and that it is all a major operation of the enemy, okay? So, yeah, so please don't take that map and don't say, okay, there's little pinpoints here, oh my gosh, we're right around here, something big is going to happen right here because she put a lot of little dots in this smaller area. That's not what this means, okay? I recreated this with the help of Abba as best as I could. And he specifically wanted me to say, this is not for you to look at and to dissect, all right? It's for you to get an idea. It's for you to get an understanding that, yes, the terror cells are here and they are very vast. And I just know that they have intensive and extensive plans, all right? Not necessarily for just one area, for instance, like a 9/11, more along the lines of literally kind of I think that there will be big ones, maybe similar, hopefully not, but along the lines of what we just saw in New Orleans, which is my home state is Louisiana. So, which I don't live in New Orleans, but pray for all of those people down there and what they're going through. New Orleans has I'm just going to throw this out there. New Orleans has a heavy, extensive background in basically like witchcraft and whatnot. And I'm not saying all the people down there are bad. I'm just saying, I guess the Lord is bringing this topic up because along the lines of also prayer, intercession, and spiritual warfare. And we need to be praying against those powers of darkness that are trying to do wicked things to all of God's children and just humanity in general. It's a fight. It's a fight in the spirit, guys. So please, if you don't know how to fight in the spirit, open up your Bible. The first thing you can do is declare Psalms 91 over your home, over your life, over your family. But if you specifically know how to pray against the spiritual warfare, pray and tell the Lord that you're standing in the gap for those who don't know what's going on, who may be doing bad things and they don't understand what they're doing. Okay, even I know a lot of y'all don't want to hear this, but even the ones who are committing these acts, okay, the ones I've seen in my visions, the younger people especially, I mean, God loves them and they are lost and they need to come to the Lord, all right? So I pray that we can pray for them. We can stand in the gap for them. We can pray that the Lord open their eyes. But yeah, I think that's all for this morning. And again, the first map where it was the red pinpoints and there weren't quite as many, that specifically was what the Lord had showed me back in the spring that had to do with mostly earthquakes. And it very well could have had to do with volcanoes too. I just know that those seem to be bigger points of disaster in a way. All right. And this is not to instill fear in you. I'm not here to be the fear person at all. That's not what I want to do. I'm just doing what I'm told to do. And like I said, that map as well, please do not take either one of those and dissect those. Like, now I have told you in my visions that I do believe New York and potentially New Jersey. And there's even one about if you've watched several of my slew visions, I know they're long videos, but I've also talked about California. Now, there are places I know in my heart that I have seen that will see some destruction. But as far as the Lord showing me the pinpoints, please don't dissect that. Just take that as, for one, if you notice on the red pinpoint map, that does fall in line with all of the fault lines, literally. And also, I want to add about that earthquake map too. Specifically, I want to clarify, I truly believe that some of those very big ones at least I'm praying. I think it might be a little while before we see those. I think we are going to continue to see an uptick in earthquakes, and they will get kind of worse and worse as they come. But I do know for sure that in the middle of the US, where I have a few of those red dots, relatively where they are at, and then also in the city, and then also in the top left corner. For some reason, I felt the need to put one off the coast for some reason. But up there, now, I think that those are going to be, for sure, bigger ones. And I'm not telling you that those are fixing to happen right now. I just know that the earthquake uptick will get bigger. And at some point, there will be some big ones, bigger than what anybody is thinking. Like, I'm talking buildings falling into a split in the ground. I'm talking mountains caving in within the ground. I'm talking off the coast, and I believe even off the southeast coast, the water violently shaking. It was either the southeast coast and even the northwest coast. Both of them, but one of the two, I saw the water shaking so violently it made a diamond pattern, okay? As it was like, I don't know if you've ever seen an alligator, probably a lot of y'all haven't seen this, but an alligator vibrate underneath the water, no, it's not the alligator, it's the fish schooling under the water whenever there's a large predator nearby. Normally in Louisiana, whenever we see that, it's a big alligator, okay? And there's like little droplets that'll like fly up in this diamond pattern, okay? And I saw that off the coast, and as that was happening, as the coast might sit horizontal like this, a perpendicular split began to happen, like as the water was meeting the sand on the beach, and there was a gaping hole, and sand started to fill in there. But like I said, I truly believe that might be a little later on. I'm praying so. That's not to say we won't see some other earthquakes until then, but yeah, I wanted to make that clear with that red map, with the map with the red dots, okay? So remember, please do not let both of these maps instill a ton of fear in you, okay? Yeah, I guess that's all I have to tell you guys until I have a little bit more time to maybe go a little bit more in depth. But the main point of this is, please, like, don't panic. Don't be full of fear. Go to Abba. Get on your knees and pray. Stand in the gap for those who don't know what's going on. Stand in the gap for those who are a part of what's going on, and they know not what they are doing. All right? And two, like I said, do not let those maps that I showed you, don't let them instill fear in you, okay? And specifically that bottom one, where it seems overwhelming and there's a lot of pinpoints on the map, Abba showed me that, and that is a general idea of how extensive they are within their terror cells, and how possibly extensive attacks could occur, all right? And I'm also not saying this is going to happen right now, but it is urgent on my spirit. I think that it could potentially try to play out a little bit sooner than maybe what we think. But remember, it is all linked together, and it is all of the enemy. The enemy is the one behind this, and I'm talking about the spiritual enemy, the devil, okay? Our battle is not against flesh and blood, but principalities and powers in heavenly places that shouldn't be there. So yeah, please don't screenshot that and say that I said these hundreds of places are fixing to have an attack, yada yada yada. I'm just telling you what the Lord showed me, and he specifically told me for this video, Jordan, show them that I helped you recreate, and just simply explain that it is vast. It is vast. It is all interlinked. It is connected. and to be praying. So yeah, I hope y'all have a blessed day. I have to go to work. I'm praying that this will get uploaded today. It is January 2nd. And if you're watching this, please pray for me at work. It's going to be a long day. Anyways, I pray that y'all have a good day and y'all stay blessed and y'all stay safe. All right, if you live close to any big cities, I'm not trying to fearmonger you at all. Pray about every move you make. Literally, we need to be doing that anyway, but especially in these days, if you have to go to a bigger city to get the things that you need, pray to God and be like, Lord, let me know when and where I need to go. If I need to go a different route somewhere, let me know, because the Lord, he works in mysterious ways. Some days you wake up and you're 10 minutes late for work and you're angry at yourself and you're thinking, oh, I'm late for work, you're just having a rough day. You have no idea how God could have changed the route for you. And that's all I'm going to say about that. Somebody needed to hear that. All right. Y'all stay blessed.